And we're going to get right into it. Today I have hold on, let me make sure. All right, yes. Today I have a very special guest. All right. He goes by the name of Tommy, and he's with Prime Corporate Services. All right. And it's so important that you watch this training. If you're looking at the replay right now, or if you're live with us right now, make sure you get ready to take a lot of notes, okay? Because Tommy is not only an expert at what he does, right, which is, tax strategy, how to save on your taxes, right? Or business entity structure. How do you, set up your business? There's no one above that I recommend that can help you with that. He's also an educator, a really good educator. He's going to teach you all about it. All right. So that way you know the direction in which you need to go. All right. So with that being said, Tommy, you there?
What's going on? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It won't let me share my video for some reason. Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
All
What's
right.
up? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I
Absolutely, man.
yeah, happy Saturday, everyone.
All right. And I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, cool. Let's do
Uh,
this. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm really excited about this. Like Mark said, I've been doing this for a long time. We started Prime Corporate back in 2012, and all that really means is that I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had some cool wins, but I've made a lot of mistakes too. And that's a lot of what I want to share with you here today. I want to share with you um, the things that I've seen go wrong, the things that I've experienced, that I've made decisions on that have gone wrong, and also some of the wins, right? But I'm sure Mark shares this with you all the time. It isn't always rainbows and unicorns, right? We got to make sure we plan for the good, the bad, the ugly, and put yourself in a better position no matter what the decision is. So stay in your lane, LLC. That is legendary. I love that. Let's just jump right into it. I'm going to make sure to save some time, by the way, for some Q&A towards the end. So feel free to put questions or comments. I'm going to ask for you to participate with me a little bit in the chat. So if you don't mind finding the chat, I'm going to ask some questions. That way I can give you the best information today. My number one goal, I want each and every one of you to be able to leave at the end of this hour and say, that is going to benefit my business. One major takeaway. Okay. Some of you are going to have 10, 20 major takeaways. Some of you being on this call, I'll save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in taxes just by implementing what I'm about to share with you. But I ask you participate in the chat with me here. That way I can give you the best information possible. So plan, profit, and protect your business. Okay. It is not about where you are right now. It's where you're going to be in 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, and beyond. And if you give yourself the blueprint long term, it makes it a whole lot easier, right? I believe it was Yogi Berra said, fail into plans, planning to fail, right? At the end of the day, if you know where you want to go, if you know that you want multiple streams of income, putting yourself in a position to know what the entity structure looks like, know that when you spend a dollar, how that's going to affect your taxes, that will help you in the long run. And it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Okay. One of the big lessons that I have learned is for any of you that are used to having a W-2 income or working for someone else, you go to work, you exchange your time for money, they take taxes out of your check, they give you what's left, you pay your bills, hopefully have some left over, right? The beauty of being self-employed, you go generate your own revenue. You reinvest back into your business or into yourself or into your future. And then you pay taxes on what's left. Okay. In my opinion, everyone should be self-employed to some extent, whether it's a side hustle, a side business, or full-time self-employment. And the reason that I say it is because the tax code is set up to benefit investors and entrepreneurs, right? A tax return is the worst thing in the world in my eyes. And the reason that I say that is because when you're getting a tax return, all that means is that you gave the IRS too much money throughout the course of the year. And they said, whoops, we took too much. Here's 5,000 of your own dollars back. A lot of people are, yeah, I got my tax return. It's crazy. Keep that $5,000, put it in a 5% savings account and make money on your money. It's your money, right? That's how the rich get richer, is they let their money work for them. So that's the beauty of being self-employed. That's really what it allows you to do. So for today's key topics, number one, let's talk about entity structures, right? Stay in your lane, LLC. I love that. Let's talk about entities and taxes and how they impact you. If you go to good old YouTube University, what makes it hard is there's so many different opinions. You got offshore accounts, you got S corps, you got holding companies. I'm going to break it down so that it's simple, it's easy, and I'm going to give you 3 things that are actionable items that you can ask attorneys and CPAs, and they're going to say, where did this guy come from? How does he know to ask those things? But that way, you know, you're set up the best way for you. Okay. Number 2, what is a deduction? How in the world does it work? And how can you make sure that you're connecting and tying your business expenses together with your business? All right. Number 3, asset protection and generational wealth. Okay. That's the comment that I made about the future. Let's set it up with the end in mind, and let's benefit your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your family, your loved ones. I've got 2 little girls. I've got a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old little girl. And you're going to hear me reference them quite a bit here, because I have become very passionate about understanding how I can pay them, how they can invest into retirement accounts, how I can teach them financial literacy that when I graduated high school, I didn't have, right? I knew science projects. I even knew algebra when I graduated high school. I'll tell you what, I'm waiting for algebra to come across my desk, because I've been ready since I graduated high school. But it hasn't happened. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to teach my kids about taxes, interest rates, financial literacy, balancing a budget, things that a lot of people don't understand until it's later in their life and they've already wasted money, right? Number 4, personal credit versus business credit. How you can separate your personal and your business legally and financially to be able to build and grow and develop additional funding lines for your business. Okay. Now, real quick, help me out in the chat here. Based off of where you are in your life and in your business, which one of these is going to benefit you greatest? Put a 1 for entities, 2 for taxes, 3 for asset protection, and 4 for how to build additional credit lines utilizing business credit for me, will you? I caught a little bit of a cold the last couple of days, so I'm sorry if I'm sounding like I can't clear my throat here. A lot of 3s. I love that. 4s are oftentimes very popular. Antonio, prepare taxes as well. Awesome. I love that. Hopefully Antonio, you got to tell me if all the tax strategies I tell you today, you already know, or if I give you some game, even though you file taxes as well. I'm going to take that as a challenge today. I'm sure we could collaborate and learn together. I'd love to pick your brain as well. Diesel mechanic, little algebra. Okay, cool. My wife joked, thank you for that. That's super helpful. This is great. See, I was never a diesel mechanic. If my TV was unplugged, I'd probably have to hire someone to come plug it back in, let alone a diesel engine. So that's not, we won't be talking about how to repair or fix anything today. I can tell you that, unless it's fixing back taxes. Forget it. All right. So before I jump into the nitty gritty here, couple things on the legal disclaimer that I just want to be clear on. The first thing I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Everyone's situation is different, right? Some of you are married. Some of you have kids. Some of you have multiple businesses already. That is going to change your overall tax picture, right? And I want to be able to plan accordingly. And we have a special offer for each and every one of you. We will give you the ability to speak with one of our advisors one-on-one for a free 45-minute to hour consultation. I'll drop a link a little bit later for all of you to be able to schedule that, but your situation's going to vary. The second thing on this legal disclaimer, I am not a CPA or an attorney. However, I have 350 employees. I have 80 accountants that work for me. I've got a full team of attorneys. I'm an investor and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a real estate investor. I own 78 doors of real estate. I own 10 different businesses. I've been self-employed since I was 18 years old. And I share these things with you for no other reason than if you go ask my attorney some of your entrepreneurial questions, they're going to lean towards protecting your assets, right? If you go ask my accountants or your accountant the same question, a lot of times they lean towards the path of least resistance to file your tax return. Has anyone experienced that? You ask a CPA and an attorney a similar question and get just two completely different answers? Because that's one of the my favorite things about my career is I have those people in the building. If someone asks me a question today that I don't know the answer to, I'm going to say, I don't know. Well, let me go ask and I'll come right back to you with it. Because the truth is oftentimes somewhere in the middle. Of course, we want to protect our assets, but we don't want to lose money when it comes to taxes either. So let's balance those pros and cons and make sure that you're in the best position possible. Okay. That's why I became my own accountant. I love it. Do your own research. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. There's truth to that, but once you're making enough money that you don't have time to do the research, you want to make sure you have professionals you trust as well, right? Because time is money. So which one do you want to sacrifice? You're going to sacrifice one or the other, right? The reason that I have 80 accountants is not only do we file a lot of taxes, but I want someone to be able to go to that my time's more valuable than theirs. I want them to go find the answers and bring them back to me, right? So I love that. And I totally agree. If you're in the beginning stages, do your own research, no doubt. But when your time becomes more valuable than your money, we want to make sure that we're handing things off that don't benefit us any longer. All right. So when it comes to business structure, I love that I'm talking to you right now because we've got November and December to save money in taxes, right? That is the bottom line is you got 2 months to benefit yourself when it comes to 2024 taxes, unless you invest into putting money into a retirement account or you purchase properties this year and run a cost segregation study and accelerate depreciation next year on this year's purchases, right? We'll talk more about those things as well. But when it comes to business entity, it sounds like everyone here already has an LLC or a corporation. And I love that because I didn't see any ones. There is no reason that anyone should just operate under a sole proprietorship, a general partnership, or their social security number. Because the reality is there's no asset protection and there's very limited tax benefits. There is no tax code that says you have to be a phenomenal business owner. But there is a tax code that says as long as you have the intention to generate income, you can take business-related deductions, right? So with that being said, having an LLC is beautiful because it's simple, it's easy, they're less expensive, they're flow-through entities, and they have the flexibility to be changed long-term. Okay, please write this down for my note takers here. These are the 3 things that I recommend you take into consideration whenever you set up a new business entity. Okay, number 1 is privacy and protection. When it comes to privacy, there are a lot of different types of businesses, obviously, that liability-wise, you want to be able to keep your name and your address off of your entity. So we have registered agents in all 50 states. I use registered agents on all of my entities so that my address is not listed on the state website. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about privacy. Protection is going to change, right? I have some clients that will do a different LLC for every property. I have other clients that own thousands of doors and they'll put 50 to 100 in one entity. What is your risk tolerance? What is your equity? Are you properly insured? Having the proper protection isn't only an entity structure. It also comes down to insurance and different things of that nature, right? So that's number one, is privacy and protection. Number two, tax benefits, profit or loss. Okay, profit or loss, good or bad, profit or loss. How do you put yourself in a better position? Okay, when you're spending $1, how will that benefit or impact your business? This year, we will file 50,000 tax returns. Guess what the number one reason is that clients save money on taxes? The number's 9,200. I had all of our accountants keep a lot of data points and a lot of research this year. And the number one reason why people saved an average of $9,200 a year was because they tracked their expenses. Break your year up into quarters: January, February, March, quarter one; April, May, June, quarter two, so on and so forth. We're in the fourth quarter, right? We've got October, November, December. Okay, tell me in the chat, how many of you, if you were to just unmute, how many of you could tell me how much you made with your W-2, how much you've made as a 1099 contractor being self-employed, and how much you've spent or invested into your business? How many of you within an hour could figure that out pretty quickly? You have a document, you use QuickBooks. Is anyone in here already doing something like that? Yes, stay in your lane, LLC. I can't get enough of that. I love it. Good on you. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you don't know your profit and your loss, you don't know what your tax liability is going to be, right? So and here's the thing. We got Stay in Your Lane and LJ, and there may be a couple others of you, but the total amount of people in here, that percentage is very small, and it makes sense, right? The reason that 90% of audits are lost is oftentimes because of tracking. If you get audited and you don't have some sort of an alibi, we've all watched enough crime television to know we got to have an alibi, right? Track and organize those expenses, QuickBooks, Excel spreadsheet, whatever it is. So that's number two, is taxes. Number three, sorry, I went off on a tax tangent there. Number three is credibility. Okay, show yourself as a legitimate business, not only to your clientele, but to banks and lenders as well. Okay, banks are businesses, they work for you. I'm going to go into that more. I'm going to teach you how to play the banking game here shortly, but banks are businesses. They want your business. So when we're talking credibility, it's not fake it till you make it. You're the president, you're the CEO, right? I get to show up here on a Saturday and I get to talk to you guys about entity structure, asset protection. If I come on and I'm like, what's up? I'm Tommy. Who's this guy? Why is he talking to us about this? But I get to say I'm the president of Prime Corporate Services. We've helped set up over 150,000 businesses. We've been in business since 2012. You're going to build your accolades as you go, but play the part. You are a business owner, even if it's day one. Okay? So those are the three things that I really want you to take into consideration. Now, for those of you that have an LLC, if you've already done wholesale deals this year, if you've already flipped a property this year, make sure that you look on Monday if your LLC is taxed as an S Corp. Okay, because when you're generating active income, it is taxed at the highest rate. You are taxed between 10 and 37%. That's where I want you to take your deductions. But if we change the LLC so that it's taxed as an S corporation, now you can pay yourself a salary or a distribution. And it also allows you to avoid half of your self-employment tax, which is Medicare and Social Security, right? That ends up saving you about 7% of the overall income. You make 100 grand and you go make that S Corp election change. I just saved you 7 grand. This was worth your hour, right? So keep that in mind. I think that understanding how you're structured and how you're taxed will benefit you to keep more money in your corner, compound your wealth, and create more cash flow. Okay. The reason I own 78 doors of real estate is all for taxes. If I didn't understand how cost seg studies, depreciation worked, my wife got her real estate license so we can get real estate professional status. In every year in November and December, it's usually the most transactions sold for real estate because people with wealth, people that know their profit and loss, are buying properties in November and December, right? Out of the 78 doors that I own, 62 of them have been bought in November or December. Because all I know is if I buy them, run cost segs, it'll save me money in taxes, and I'll create cash flow long-term to build a legacy for my 2 little girls, right? So be aware of those. That's the number one challenge I could give you over this course of the hour. Stay in your lane, and LJ already have this nailed, but please, 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 in the next week, organize your profit and your loss. Because once you know what profit's left over, that will tell you what you can invest into to better your future. If you're the person that's saying, man, I hope I don't have a big tax bill. Man, I hope I get that tax return. Right? If you're that person, and hey, I've been there. I've done that for a long time. I did that for a long time. So I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying that's an easy way to know if you need to get a little bit more detail oriented around your numbers. Because if right now you know you're going to pay 10, 20, 30 grand in taxes, go buy a property, depreciate it, give yourself the cash flow, and lower your tax liability. Right? That's going to set you up so much greater in the future than giving it to good old Uncle Sam. Right? My mom always used to say, Tommy, you can't choose your family. Get over it. You're stuck with us. I love my mom, by the way. Quick personal story that I'll just share with you. So my parents got divorced when I was 3 years old. And I don't know how they stayed together 3 years. They had to have been miserable. I said they don't agree on anything. I'm telling you what. But they did agree on one thing. And for this one thing, I'm forever grateful. They wanted my sister and I to be self-employed. And for that, I will forever be grateful. My mom was a real estate agent. My dad owned a real estate brokerage. My dad lived in Vegas. My mom moved me to Utah from California. Long story short, when I turned 18 years old, I went and knocked door to door selling pest control in Raleigh, North Carolina. Anyone from North Carolina? I love North and South Carolina, by the way. It is such a cool place. I was right off New Bern. It was a great experience. Amazing opportunity. When I went and drove across the country to go knock door to door, Panthers fan, oh my gosh, I'm a Dolphins fan. I don't know who I feel worse for, you or me. When I drove to North Carolina, my mom was so proud. Like, is it 1099? Good, great. Yes, track all your expenses. And when I got home, I said, Mom, I want to go to college. Why? What are you going to go to college for? So I share that with you because I had such a different perspective growing up than the traditional go to college. My parents were pushing on me of, what are you going to do to work for yourself? What are you going to do to work for yourself? And it's because they knew and they saw the freedom and they saw the additional revenue opportunity. And for that, once again, I am eternally grateful. But when you set up your LLC, when you are tracking your expenses, here's one piece of advice that I will give to you. One of my favorite books is called Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. The reason I love Rocket Fuel is it really changed the way that we do business quite a bit. It does a great job of identifying visionaries versus integrators. Visionaries take action and they just go make money, right? That's Mark has got that visionary in him where he just looks a year, 5 years, 10 years into the future, and he just sees the path of how he's going to go make money. My partner, Steve Harward, who's the CEO, he's a visionary. He's like a balloon, right? I tell him I'm the string and he's the balloon. He's got all these big ideas and I'm pulling the string, telling him, down, boy, we got 10 other objectives we got to accomplish before we look 3-5 years into the future. Visionaries take action. They go make money. Integrators, on the other hand, are a little bit scared of their shadow, right? They're enjoying the work, They're intelligent. Bree, your comment earlier when you said, do your own research and I became my own accountant, there's no doubt in my mind you're an integrator. You may have some visionary tendencies, but you like doing the work. You enjoy it. There's a lot. And I'm the same way, Bree, just to share with you on that comment. I do a lot of the same things. I like reading articles. I listen to podcasts and listen to books, and anything that catches my interest, I go down these like rabbit holes of researching it. But they need each other. So understand what your strengths are and partner with your weaknesses, right? What you like to do, pat yourself on the back, because when you're first getting started, you're the janitor, you're the marketer, you're the sales, you do everything. But what don't you enjoy doing? Okay, everyone's got a hustle phase. Once you get into the CEO phase, hire out what you don't like to do. Even if it costs more money than you think, is my opinion. I would rather pay and focus on my enjoyment, because that's part of the beauty of being self-employed. At some point, the money no longer matters. My favorite financial history, that's my favorite financial moment for myself. My company's done 9 figures last year. Okay, we did our first $1 million month like 7 years ago. My favorite, absolute favorite memory is when I was 18 years old, going to North Carolina. Mom just filed bankruptcy, didn't have money to give me because the real estate market crashed. I had to scrape together $25 to open up a business account. And I walked out of that account with a business bank account folder with $25 in it and no other money to my name, about to head across the country on credit to go knock door to door selling pest control. But it was a liberating moment having a business bank account based off of my upbringing, right? Sometimes money doesn't do it. It's about the freedom. It's about the lifestyle, right? So when you're tracking and organizing your expenses, phone, internet, power, portions of your rent or your mortgage, okay, dues, subscriptions, everyone's paid money to be a part of this beautiful community. Learn from each other, lean into each other, be open ears all the time, right? That's when earlier, I believe it was Antonio, he said, I'm an accountant as well. Fire some things back at me. Bree, I loved your comment on do your own research. Like, let's learn together. I'm happy to come back here and do straight Q&As. I'm happy to bring my attorney in here and pay him to give you free game for an hour. I will do whatever we can do to help each other. I'm a big, big believer in collaboration over competition. There's plenty of money to be made out there. And the more that we can help each other, the easier it is to win. So track and organize your expenses. Okay. Anyone have, give me a 1 in the chat. Actually, tell me how many kids you have in the chat with a number. Who's got how many kids? I'll kick us off. I got 2 little girls. I love them to death. Antonio, stay in your lane. You guys still have all the freedom. No, I love 5 kids. I'm looking for who the winner is here. Right now we got Christy with 5. You're a hero. 2 boys. My buddy's got 2 boys. They come over. I'm like, holy cow. These girls are well behaved comparison to these boys. I'll tell you what. My 2 little girls are like threatening. They look at me in the eye, threaten to color on the wall with a marker, and then don't. Little boys come over. They're throwing vases against the wall and all sorts of stuff. All right. So 5's the winner. Good work. All right. So here's the thing about paying your kids. 14,000. First one in December. Congrats. That's very cool. What can your kids do to help you with your business? It's got to be legitimate. Let's start there. Okay. Can they help you with social media management? Can they clean out some of your properties? Can they help you put flyers can they help you with your mailers? Put those kids to work, right? Let's teach good work ethic to children. Let's help them understand that things don't come easy and things don't come free. It takes hard work, right? But let's do it in a way where we're educating them and benefiting them. Now, both of my girls will make $14,500 this year. I get the deduction as a business owner. They didn't make enough money to pay taxes. Okay, now some of you are probably thinking, especially Antonio, what can a 1 and a 3-year-old do to help you with your business? Right? Someone say, my accountant told me they had to be 8. Well, my daughters are models. They look like their mother, lucky for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be models. They ended up looking like me. I pay them to be on websites where I market properties that I own, and models get paid. If I'm wrong, correct me here, right? But models make money. So I could go hire a model, or I could pay my kids, put them on payroll, pay them. I get the deduction. My 3-year-old said, "Dad, should we put some of this into an IRA?" Oh my gosh, sweetie, great idea. How did I? No, she didn't. But we do that. And by the time she's 25, there should be $1 million in that account to be able to benefit her to start a business, to buy a home, go to college. I'm my mom's son, so I'm going to encourage she's self-employed as well. But help future generations, right? It can be $100, $1,000. It doesn't have to be the full amount. What I will tell you, and Antonio, please correct me if I'm wrong. When business owners know that things like this are available to them, when they do it once, it becomes part of their business. And once you do it, and once you understand, the first time any of you wrote off your home office or your cell phone, you're like, I'm going to have an LLC forever, right? Because you see the value, you see the benefit. So it's not going to happen overnight, but if you incorporate one thing that we talk about here today, that's going to better you for years to come. Continue to compound, continue to stack, and continue to better your situation, right? Augusta rule. This is a big one. I love this one. Anyone done the Augusta rule? Has anyone implemented this into their tax situation? I love this strategy here. This is one of my favorites. Antonio, you're an accountant, dude. You don't count. I'm just kidding, bro. Augusta rule. How much did it save you when you put the Augusta rule into play, Antonio? I think this year mine saved me about 20 grand when I implemented this into my tax strategy. I think it was about $20,000. So here's what the Augusta rule is. If there's any golf fans in here, then you know the Masters golf tournaments in Augusta, Georgia every year. Back in the 1970s, a gentleman got audited for not claiming the income when he rented out his house when the Masters golf tournament came to Augusta. Now, we've all heard it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? There's never been a truer moment. How this tax law got passed, I have no idea, but it did. It's Section 288. What this rule says is you can rent out your house up to 14 days a year tax-free. So here's how I implement this strategy into my business. On the 5th of every month, I've got a rental agreement that my business rents out my house. I transfer the money from my business to my personal account. Okay? It's a deduction for my business, but I don't have to claim the income personally. Now I go over my minutes, my meetings, my bookkeeping, my monthly goals, my quarterly goals, my annual goals. These are things you're going to do anyways. You're going to do business in your house. Formalize it. This will save me $15,000, $20,000 in taxes this year. Okay, it's easy. It's simple. If I went and rented out the Hilton conference room next to my house, no one would bat an eye that that's a business-related expense. But I tell them I rented out my house instead. Oh, that's a loophole. What do you mean? You can't do that. That's a good way to get audited. They tell me in the comments. Get lost. I've been doing this for years. These are business expenses. You are a business owner. We are going to strategize accordingly, and you are going to keep more money in your corner because I believe if you're here listening to me talk on a Saturday, you'll do more with your money than the government will. I believe that you are putting time, energy, and effort into bettering yourself and bettering your business because you will make better decisions than the government will. I truly believe that because this is effort. This is energy that you're putting in on a Saturday. Okay. All right. That's enough about taxes. I get fired up thinking how ridiculous it is, how much money we waste. When it comes to asset protection, protect yourself. Personal is personal, business is business. Like I told you earlier, I could bring my attorney on here. They'd talk about this for 45 minutes. But the reality is we live in a sue-happy world. Okay? 40 million lawsuits are filed every year. It's an average of 76 a minute. Is that not disgusting? But look at this. Breach of contract, real estate. Slip and fall, real estate. Premises liability, real estate. One of my mentors said, what I love about your business, Tommy, is you get to help people understand how to set themselves up with the thought in mind. It's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Write that down for asset protection. It's not if you get sued, it's when you get sued. The more successful you become, the larger the target on your back becomes. However, it can happen at any time. My first lawsuit I was ever in, you ready for this? My first lawsuit I was ever in, I was 22 years old, and it was the very first investment property I ever purchased. I trusted the guy. I liked him. I knew him very well. And he sold me, right? It was my fault. Always take accountability for your losses as well. They're always your fault. You learn more from them. I can't stand this guy, but it's my fault. I shouldn't have trusted him. But what I should have done more than not trust him, I should have put a proper contract in place. This is what I learned. Because I trusted him, we had a handshake agreement that I was going to purchase this property for 400 grand. But it took him 2 years because he didn't know what he was doing. He was a terrible business owner. And because it took 2 years, he wanted me to pay 500 grand. So I went back to the contract and I realized I signed TBD, to be determined. That doesn't work. That's my fault. I'll never have TBD on a contract ever again. I learned that at 22. I'm grateful for it. Okay, so I sued him because I owned the land. He owned the house. I put a lien on the house. Guess what? If the property went up 100 grand, so does the land. So my first lawsuit, it tied up my money for 4 years. I ended up making money on it. Terrible experience. I share that with you because it's going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen, the easiest way to avoid it is setting yourself up with a solid foundation to build the empire that you are after. Okay, you wouldn't build a house on sand, build a business on solid ground. Okay. All right. Personal credit versus business credit. I'm going to zoom through these last couple slides here so that I can answer as many questions as we can. Personal credit versus business credit. I have never met an entrepreneur that says, I wish I had less money. Okay. That has never happened. And the reason that it has never happened is because the more money that you make, the easier it is to grow, the easier it is to scale, the easier it is to help more people, right? So on the personal side, you've got your personal name, you've got your social security number or your ITIN, and you've got your personal FICO credit score that ranges from 300 to 850. Do the same thing for your business. When you have good personal credit, when you make money personally, a lot of your problems are easier to resolve. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Your business is the same way. You're going to have issues. You're going to have conflicts. You're going to have challenges. Let's make sure you have a legitimate business name. Let's make sure you have an EIN or an employer identification number. And let's build and develop this Paydex profile that's a separate credit profile for your business. It ranges from 1 to 100, and 80 to 85 would be like you having a 750 to an 800 credit score. Okay, so we help you reach that 80 to 85, and now you can use business credit and corporate funding as opposed to always having to use personal funds or personal credit. Right? When you don't need money, everyone and their mother sends you a credit card application. When you need money, it tends to be a little bit more difficult to come across, right? So even if you're brand new, you can build up this history. I'm trying to understand a DUNS number. I'm going to walk you through it. Bree, I appreciate you. I'm going to spend time walking you through how to get a credit profile going. DNB.com. I'll come back to that and I'll talk to you about that here shortly. Okay. Control everything, own nothing. Stay in your lane. LLC's either seen me talk before or teeing me up. Checks in the mail. Stay in your lane. I knew I liked you. Are you working with us already? Stay in your lane, or is this just you being brilliant all the time? Because the way that you just broke that down is beautiful. And look at how you transitioned me into this. All right. So think with the end in mind. Okay. It's not about where you are right now. It's where you're going to be. Everyone at some point should have a trust, a will, a living will, a power of attorney. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, and I'm going to share why I'm a hypocrite with you so that you understand it's okay to work at your pace. I've been talking about people and the importance of setting up estate plans for 12 years. I didn't set up mine until my daughter was born 3.5 years ago. Okay. So if you don't have the assets, if you don't have the motivation, if you don't have a house, a bank account, a car, when my daughter was born, I love my wife to death. But when my daughter was born, that was the first moment I said, I care too much about money. I'm working too much. I need to spend more time with the family. I need to finish my estate plan. You'll have that moment. And if you're aware of it, it makes it a lot easier to make sure it's in place. We have an amazing estate plan service that's software based, that you can put it, all your information into and change it and everything else. But set up that estate plan at some point. Now, for those of you that care a lot about the privacy and the protection piece, not all states are created equal when it comes to corporate law, right? Delaware and Wyoming are best. I love Wyoming. It's simple, it's easy, it's less expensive. If you send your dog across the border of Wyoming, like, they might come back with an LLC type deal, right? So I like Wyoming. I have my holding company out of Wyoming, but it doesn't do any business. It owns my other businesses. So what Stay in Your Lane had mentioned here is active LLC, wholesales, fix and flips, you're taxed between 10 and 37%. That's where I want you to take your deductions. Phone, internet, power, portions of your rent or your mortgage. Let's lower your tax liability. You go make a bunch of money off wholesale fix and flip. Now you said, you know what? I'm going to buy a buy and hold, or I'm going to keep this one so I can create cash flow, right? Separate it with an LLC that's passive. Tax rates are 0 to 20%. You can still run cost segs. You can still take depreciation, and these things can flow through. But one of the challenges that I will leave you with here today, please draw this on your paper. Take a screenshot of this slide. Checker the boxes of what you don't have. If you don't have an estate plan, checker out that you need a trust, a will, a living will, a power of attorney. Checker out what, maybe you want to start a nonprofit at some point. Maybe you want to open up a, I don't know, whatever, 7-Eleven. I'm not the most creative one in the bunch. I don't care what you want to do, but let's say that you're going, you have goals, you have dreams, you have different businesses that you want to run and you want to operate. Give yourself the vision. Draw it. Put it on your desk. Put it on your wall. What is your business structure going to look like in 20 years? Because if you know where you're going, it's a whole lot easier to get there. Put this on a vision board, a why wall. I tell people that are super visual. I said, what do you have on your vision board? You got the vacation. I know that. You got the nice house, the nice car. What else you have on that vision board? Health, maybe, fitness goals. Those are all great. Put your entity structure on what that's going to look like in 10, 20 years there. Right? Give yourself the roadmap and watch yourself go and get it. Okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to drop a link in the chat for each and every one of you. Feel free to scan this QR code. And I would recommend, I think you're crazy not to, take advantage of a free consultation. Okay, what we're going to do is you're going to have the opportunity to speak directly with one of our advisors. They will break this down for you one-on-one, and they're going to meet you where you are. If you're brand new, let us know you're brand new. If you're a seasoned vet, if you're Antonio and you're filing taxes and you're an accountant, what can we do to bring you value? That's the goal of us being here. Okay. So when you set up this appointment, please make sure that it's a time that works best for your schedule. And please make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where you get the most out of it. Don't just listen to them. They'll ask you questions that they know are going to benefit you, but I want you to get the most out of that appointment. And the reason for it is it's your business. It's your opportunity. If we're not helping you with it, then we're not doing you any good. Okay. But we're here to help you long term. So the 4 services that we're primarily offering: entity structure. We also do a lot of emails, a lot of professional domains, business credit development. We're currently getting over $4 million a month. Mark, you're a hero. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. Thank you, dude. Business credit and corporate funding, tax planning, tax prep, bookkeeping. I got a full service accounting firm, and then also estate planning. But the reason that this consultation is free is because of the relationship with Mark, because of the community that you're in. And if we can bring you value, you can go set up an LLC yourself, for instance, and you won't have an operating agreement. You can hire an attorney and pay $1,500, or we can set it up for you and you can have everything you need legally prepared for $300 to $600. It's a no-brainer. I've been doing this a long, long time, and I can tell you, I got a team that care. We want to help long-term, and whether we can help now or later, that's what we're here for. Don't hesitate to utilize us when it comes to business strategy. Okay. Now, Bree, because you have been amazing in the chat, I want to do whatever I can to bring you game. First of all, let me know, this is for my selfish reasons, but what was your biggest takeaway today? What did you like the most? What was something that you learned that you didn't know before? Or what are you leaving this hour telling yourself that you're going to do? What's gonna better your future, or what's gonna save you money this year? Do you mind sharing that with me in the comment section, just so I can see what some of your takeaways were? All right, Bree, here it goes. You ready for this? I'm going to pull up a whole nother slide for you. I wasn't planning on doing this, but because you are active in that chat, and I can tell that you are taking this stuff serious, we are going to give everyone more free game because you're awesome. Screenshot this slide, Breed. You ready for this? Here is a 7-step process on how to build business credit. This is free game for you here. We have a really cool software, by the way. Our business credit service, it walks you through all these 7 steps. It gives you 15 different options for financing, and we show you all the lenders that you're able to identify. So what is the foundation? Business name, address, business email. We walk you through 15 different steps. Here's the foundation, for instance. Let me just show you this. These are all the steps of having a proper foundation: business address, entity, foreign filing, ownership. So in our software, you can check these down and add all of your information directly into it. Then it'll talk about your financials. If you don't have them, or if you're pre-revenue, that's fine. Then what we do is walk you through how to make sure you're reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. Personal credit, applications. Here's all the different funding opportunities that you can qualify for. We have resources for all of them. But when you go through this 7 steps, Bree, we get the foundation, bureau verifications. Tier 1 lenders are accounts that no one really wants. It's things like Office Garner, Uline, Granger. No one likes these accounts, but you can get your toilet paper, your paper towels from these accounts. Then you can go monitor your business reports. Then it'll allow you, after 3 to 6 months, to get major credit cards with major banks like KeyBank, Key West. There's 0% offers with major banks. Steps 6 and 7 usually take our clients a year to 2 years, but that's why we give unlimited support, because this is where you can go get major lines of credit. You can get SBA loans. One of my best friends is one of the biggest SBA lenders in the nation, and our clients get to work with him directly, even if they're the smallest. He does like multi-million-dollar loans, and when I send him someone for like 150 grand, he's like, Tommy, I would do this for nobody but you. And I've got really, really awesome resources. I've been doing this a long time, and I've got amazing friends and really good people that I trust to handle our clients. So Bree, screenshot this as well. Identify what accounts report monthly instead of quarterly or annually. Bree's an integrator, so I'm telling her information at a high level that I know she's going to go research. Schedule a call too, Bree, and talk to us about it. We'll make sure to share with you different accounts and things like that. Identify, apply, make sure you're approved. Once you're approved, go buy your toilet paper, your paper towels on a net 30 account. You'll pay them back in 15, 20 days, and then that'll better your credit profile as well from there. So hopefully that helps, Bree. Everyone schedule a call. Make sure to go through it. Bree, I love it. I know that was high level what I just walked you through, but based off your comments and questions, I've been doing this a long time. I know that's going to help you. What were some of the takeaways? I got to hear. No one learned anything. We got no takeaways in here. What's going on here? Can you use a registered agent for your business address versus using a virtual address like Opus or Regis? Yes. I prefer registered agents, Ashley. They're less expensive. They're easier to maintain. I have registered agents on all my addresses. I don't have any virtual addresses. They're more expensive. Now, I own this office building that I'm in right now, and we obviously have this set up at the business address, but all my other businesses are based off registered agents. Privacy and protection is what I learned. Thank you for that. I love it. Feel better. That's what this is all about. If we're gonna bore ourselves half to death talking asset protection and taxes on a Saturday, we better have some fun and have some takeaways, right? Anyone have fun plans for the weekend here? I'm going through trying to answer these questions. I've got a cold and I've got to go to a Halloween party that I don't want to go to tonight. Shout out my wife for accepting every invitation that comes our way. I have little ones. I don't want them to understand, and I know I want them to understand business. I have a DUNS number, started fixing my personal credit, just trying to have connections. Yes, that's what it's all about. Right? You got to start somewhere. And whether it's your personal credit or your business credit, it'll benefit you. Just man, oh man, I'm in Salt Lake and I don't know if I got allergies or a cold, but I'm not 100% today. Utilize my LLC.
Tommy. I'm going through it too, man, all week. I've been going through it too all week, man. Something going on.
It's so frustrating. I actually feel okay. I just am feeling more congested this morning than I have this week.
Yeah.
Mark, anything you want to add, by the way, my man? I know you know a lot of this stuff, but I know that you know the importance of entity structure and asset protection. Anything you would add to what we've talked about?
I would say, you know, if there's anything I could tell my younger self when I first got into business, it would be to link up with somebody like you. Yeah. Because, you know, I was so busy just trying to make money that I was, you know, how can I put it? This stuff we're talking about right now just wasn't in place. It was all over the place. And because of that, I paid a lot of money in taxes. I just made a lot of mistakes, man. And like, that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, because I know that most people that are on right now with us are starting off right where I did. So I want to kind of like, you know, help you avoid those same mistakes that I made. So, I mean, what I would say, if I could add anything, is please just, you know, make sure you set up your consultation, you know, listen to what Tommy's saying, everybody over at Prime Corporate Services, because it's only going to help you. So, yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. It means a lot. Knowledge is power, right? And the more that you know, the easier it is to implement these different strategies directly into your business. Mark, thank you for finding that link. I was looking for it and I couldn't get it. I dropped it again.
You're welcome.
Bree's on fire over here. Bree, we've got Augusta rule, pay your kids. Our tax company, I have trackers for all of this stuff. So anything that you guys need, we are here for you. In order to get real estate professional status, it's got to be your main income, 750 hours a year. I had my team make a tracker for people to be able to track their hours on whether they do or don't qualify for real estate professional status. I got a tracker for Augusta rule. I got a tracker for paying your kids. I've got an organizer that you can put together on all of your expenses every month and every quarter. Schedule the call. reach out to us. We are here to help. We are here to bring value. When I first started this company in 2012, we were working with a lot of like eBay business owners. And now we work with real estate investors, stock investors, Uber, Lyft, 1099 contractors, insurance agents. We work with just about any 1099 contractor, but we still have about 40% of our clients that do real estate. Why? Because it's created more millionaires than any other business in the world. And whether you're brand new or a seasoned vet, we want to help you grow and scale your business. If I help you today, if I give you a free hour, if you go generate millions of dollars, you're going to stay with me long-term. So selfishly, I want you as a client long-term. But value-based and as a human-to-human interaction, I want to give you value to help you build your business, to earn your business long-term. I'm a business. I want to make money. Let's be very clear. That's the catch. But I'm also a human. And I've been doing this a long time. And I've made a lot of mistakes myself. And if I can collaborate over compete and I can help other people become successful in this world, I will find myself in a position where the money will come. And I've proven that in building a 9-figure business a year. I've proven that in being able to have 350 employees that build and grow their business and feed their families off of what it is that we're talking about here today. So Mark, I appreciate you. Thank you everyone for all the amazing feedback and everything else. And love the rubber tree. Thank you. It's real, believe it or not.
I appreciate you, Tommy. Thanks a lot
All
so
right, man.
much. Before you go, man, any last words? Just, I mean, I think what you just said was very inspiring, man. But just what is one thing you would say to someone, who is, if, like I said, if you could go back and tell your younger self something when you were just getting started in business, man, one piece of advice you could leave us with.
There's people dumber than you that make more money, and there's people that care less about people and are helping more people than you. You're smart, you have what it takes, and help more people along the way, right? You are enough. The more that you can truly be a credit to your profession and get 1% better every day and help one more person, make one person smile more than you would have yesterday, and help people along the way. Don't lose who you are. I was fortunate to grow up. My mom is the most amazing human being in the world. And if it wasn't for her, I think I would have fallen into areas of greed. I think I would have fallen into areas of becoming a person that isn't me. Remember who you are. Remember what you said you'd do when you have money, and then go get the money and do what you said you were going to do by giving back. And it means more when you're able to do those things. So that's my 2 cents. And I say that because I've struggled with it. I have to tell myself to continue to be gracious. I have to wake up and be grateful that I have an opportunity to come into my office on a Saturday and help you, as opposed to say, man, why didn't I have someone else do this? I don't need to work Saturday. I don't need the money, because I like doing it, because I want to do it. And because what got me here was working 7 days a week back in the day. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm grateful for you, Mark, for giving me the opportunity to get out of bed, have a purpose. And just because I have a little sniffle, I'm going to power through and make sure to bring you game to save you money and taxes. That's what it's all about. Keep powering through.
I appreciate you telling me so much, man. That was great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you so much for being here today, man. And man, God bless, man. I hope you have a great weekend.
God bless you too. Feel better.
Thank you, man. You too.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Tommy. All right, y'all. So that's going to be it. That's day 6 right there. I hope y'all enjoyed Tommy's presentation today. I know for a fact it's going to help y'all a lot. And Tommy said something I kind of wanted to piggyback on, something that I feel the same way he do. It's like he said, he thanked me for, allowing him to be here so he can live in his purpose. And I want to thank y'all for being here all week with me, because you're allowing me to live in my purpose, right? And I think I mentioned that one of those days during the 5-day training. But yeah, if it wasn't for you all, I couldn't live in my purpose. I know this is my purpose, helping other people be successful in real estate. I've been doing it now for over 15 years, and I absolutely love it. So thank you. If it wasn't for you, I couldn't be able to do that. So I I'll take a few questions. You know, if anybody got anything, I'll hang around for a while, answer some questions. I do have a few spots left for the one-on-one coaching and the group economics coaching. If anyone's on the fence, I sent y'all an email about this earlier. If anybody's on the fence about it, want to book a call with me so we can talk about it a little bit more, so I can answer any questions that you may have. You know, in terms of joining the coaching program, just let me know. You can shoot me an email. You can send it to Mark. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the chat. Actually, you can just send it back to either my Mark Witten Coaching at Gmail or Mark at Real Estate Money Club, right? Most of you probably got my email addresses, right? But let me see. Here's the link right here. I'll just put that in there again. Let me send y'all I'm gonna send you my personal email. Hold on. Let me see. Mark Witten Coaching at gmail.com. All right. So yeah, just send me an email if you want to, you know, if you got any questions about that. All right. So let me see. I was told use registered accurate. What was a good company to purchase a business address from? Registered address for a business. Is that correct? So yeah, I believe you can go to what's the site called? Our postal one, you can get, I believe you can get a registered physical address there as well. Check on that and make sure that's right. But I think you could do that there. Everybody's saying thank you, much appreciated. I appreciate everyone as well. Let me see, tea and honey. Yeah, thanks, Rain. Yep, I kind of been slacking. I was taking my ginger tea and honey almost every day, and I didn't take it yesterday, but I need to get back to it. Um, I say good week. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right. Black Seed. Oh, okay. I'll try that too. I guess a natural store not far from my house. I'll take a ride down there today. Um, but anyway, y'all. So should I use my old LLC with no use or start a new one? That's probably, I mean, from a real estate perspective, I would say, I mean, you could use your old one from the credit and all that and stuff. I would think the older it is, the more history it has, the longer you have it, that might be better. That was probably a better question for Tommy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. You know, again, I thank y'all so very much for joining me this week. Again, if you're joining the one-on-one coaching program, the group economics program, I just dropped the link in the chat. If you want to talk a little bit more about it on the one-on-one before you join, just shoot me an email. All right, I put my email there at markwittencoaching@gmail.com. We can hop on the phone and talk more about it. I can give you more in depth of what it is that we're doing over the next 6 months in the coaching program. All right. So we'll jump on a call and we can talk about it. All right. Other than that, y'all, again, thank you so much. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. And I hope to see y'all soon.